Hi, and welcome to another episode of Starship Gaming. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos. Now let's jump right into today's topic. As time has gone on, the question that I often wonder is when we will see the last console to use physical copies, and it's something that's kind of bothered me. As downloading and streaming of games has become more prevalent over the past decade, it's something that I think is finally starting to win, so to speak. More people are downloading games, buying them, and downloading them, and more people are starting to stream games. And of course, game consoles that are download only are not a new thing. Of course, the Ouya, which technically is a micro console, is a good example of that. But of course, you have the upcoming Atari VCS, which is now called the, I believe, the Atari VCS 800 or something or other. And it is a console that will you can only download and stream games on, which that's a kind of an industry first for a major game console. Well, not really technically if you count the Xbox One S that was a digital only, but I didn't really hear about the digital only One S selling very well. Of course, when you look at the next generation of consoles coming out, such as the PS5, there's going to be a digital-only version of it, as well as a digital-only version of the Xbox Series X. But I think as time goes on, we're going to see less and less new game consoles come out that take physical copies. In fact, I would even go so far to say that this generation or next generation of consoles could be the last generation to use physical copies. So we're looking at a timetable of between, we're already seeing changes now as it is. More companies are going with digital only, and a lot of it, I think, has to do with the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. A lot of people couldn't get out to the stores, a lot of stores were closed, and I think that a lot of it has to do with that, and there's going to be a big push for digital only. You're going to notice that. I mean, we're already noticing it now. We have for a few years now, but you're going to notice a big push for that over the next 5 years. That's definitely for sure. It's not something that's just going to happen overnight. I mean, it's been going on. Digital only has been going on for nearly a decade now. Well, more than a decade, to be honest. And I think it's just going to keep... Well, technology advances. We see everything as it's more convenient to download and stream. The only way that physical copies can prevail is... Well, there's a number of factors that you have to really put into it. You have to see as people who want a game console but don't have internet. They can't technically download a game unless they go somewhere else and download it. That's the first problem with that. Which a majority of people already have internet. But say you live out in the country, there's no internet out there, or you're low income, you can't afford internet. That's where you run into problems with that. But then you have to look at it this way. The companies, it's cheaper to release a game as a download only because they don't have to make physical copies. I myself like to use physical copies. I do not prefer to have anything digital. I've bought a few games digital, but it's not something that I'm ready to have overtake my life in terms of gaming. I think that it's something that we're going to see you're going to see more consoles that are digital only. And like I said, it could happen. This generation coming up could be the last console generation. 2020 to 2032. That could be the final years of physical copies of some kind. Now, of course, there's still game consoles that are coming out that, they play physical copies. The PS5, Xbox Series X, the new kid on the block, Intellivision Amico. They're going to have physical copies. Of course, they're also making downloads a big thing. It's downloading digital copies has actually been a thing since, well, for a while now, since at least 2005, unless you count PCs, which of course, you've been able to do that on PCs forever. Well, not forever, but you get the gist of it. And there's really a big debate that's been going on for years of, people who prefer physical copies and people who prefer digital downloads only. And of course, you're going to have people who are on both sides telling you, oh, physical copies, if you don't get them, you're wrong. Or people on the, digital side say, oh, go with digital. Anything else is wrong. You'll have that. You will have that. Or you'll have people who will tell you about which game console to buy and not buy. Oh, this one is download only. Buy this one. Or, oh, this one still takes physical copies. Or, oh, that one sucks. It only takes digital copies. Just don't listen to them. You are a free thinker. You have the right to choose. You choose what you think is best for you. And the same thing goes with the whole debate on digital and physical. It's okay to prefer one over the other. You have the ability to choose which you prefer. Some people prefer only physical, some prefer only digital, and some prefer a mix of both. I personally, like I said, I prefer physical. I like to physically have it there, hold it in my hands. I own it. And I think that's what I like about physical copies. I'm not bound to any system, because a lot of digital only downloads are bound to one system. You can never transfer them to another system. If your system crashes, it's gone forever. That's just my personal opinion about that. But you are free to choose what system you're going to buy, what form of gaming you're going to do, and if you're going to buy physical or digital. You're free to do all that. Don't let anybody's opinion persuade you otherwise. Just pick the one that works best for you. It's like I was telling a friend about a week ago. He was telling me he frequently comes to my shop. If you didn't already know, I own a video game shop, retro and new games. He was telling me that somebody was trying to persuade him to go digital only. I told him, do you want to go digital only? He said it would be more convenient for him, but he wasn't sure. I said, well, pick what works best for you. Don't listen to anyone else's opinion. You just do what you want to do. If you think that's convenient for you, go ahead. You're free to do that. Nobody, I told him, don't worry about anybody's opinion. Just do it. Just do it. So that was my little rant about that. But yeah, just do what works for you. Like I said, I think that digital will become more prevalent. And the people who prefer physical copies like me will just have to, We'll just have to learn to adapt over time. Of course, we'll always have our older games, so there's nothing really to worry about there. And, you know, us, I guess you could say, the ones who prefer physical copies, the dinosaurs, we'll just have to learn to adapt. There's no question about it. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos. And until next time, I will see ya.